morning, YouTube. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little different. Today is me showing you guys how to shift an 8 low transmission. Right now I'm currently in first gear. The high range and low range is down, 15 RPM, second, third, fourth, fifth, you don't gotta fight it, sixth, you don't have to fight it at all, 7, and we're coming up on the last gear. The last gear is basically more for like speed and cruising, you know what I mean? When you at a set speed, you could just leave it in 8th gear. I mean, after 8th, you really have no more gears, but you get the concept. So I'm currently in 8th gear. I'm doing 50 miles per hour. The road that I'm on, I think the speed limit is 50 miles per hour. Today we're doing not too much of a long distance run today. It is an hour apart from the loading site to the dump site where we're dumping today. We're not dumping at that loading, the dump site which you've seen in my previous videos. That's the site where we're actually getting loaded from. It's basically like a landfill. So we are getting dirt from the dump site to another site in Jersey, just an hour apart. So my co-worker is behind me right now, so we just not too long dumped our first load, so we're heading back to get our second load. I'm coming up on a stoplight right now. I'm gonna try to gear downshift, and then once I downshift, once I get to the stoplight, I'll try to explain to you guys. So, okay guys, so now, oh my goodness, the light turned green. So I'm gonna have to try and do it when I get to another light, hopefully. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6, and you can hear the engine. So a lot of the times people wonder, how do you know when you have to shift, and how do you know when you gotta shift? Sometimes when you master the craft of driving and shifting and stuff like that, you'll be able to listen to the engine and know when it's time for another gear. So I came up on a light. Oh goodness, I'm sorry guys. I keep trying to get when I stop on the light, but every time I stop, the light turns green, so. The Jake brake is on. Right now, this is how first gear is first straight up, second gear is straight down, while this is down, third is up in the right hand corner, and fourth gear is down in the bottom corner, right hand corner. So now we're in fourth, we want to go to high. You got to flip the high range up and go right back to where first gear is at. So now I'm in fifth gear. Want to go to 6, pull it straight down, and I'm in 6th gear. You always want to make sure that your RPMs is like 15 to 1600 RPMs. When you're loaded, it all depends on your weight sometimes. So sometimes the gears might take you a little further. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. For the other truck drivers, they know. When you're loaded, certain weight all depends on the gears. Don't get me wrong, you can still shift that 1500 RPMs. But sometimes, like when you're going up a hill, you got to downshift to build up the RPMs and stuff like that. So it's not hard. You don't have to fight it. Once you get your truck up to 1600 RPMs, ease your foot off the gas and put it right in, pull it out and put it right into gear, and it should go in fine. Like I said, sometimes you got to go a little higher with the RPMs. All trucks are different. When you're downshifting, you don't got to be that high. You know, sometimes yes, downshifting you gotta be a little higher than 1500 RPMs. so that the jake brake can catch itself and, you know, do its thing. When you're loaded and when you're unloaded, sometimes it's different. So like right now I'm empty, I can shift all my gears at 1500 RPMs and it's gonna go right in. When I'm downshifting, I don't have to downshift past 1500 RPMs. So like right now, I'm in 6th gear, truck at 1500 RPMs, 7, it goes right into gear. You know, I don't gotta fight it, I don't gotta try to grind it and stuff like that. You know, it just goes right into gear. So now I'm gonna build up my speed. Right now I'm at 1500 RPMs, I'm passing 1500. Right now I'm at 1600 RPMs and I'm gonna go to 8. And it goes right into gear. You don't gotta fight it. You know, when you're first fresh out of CDL high school, when you're first out of CDL school, once you get out of school, you finally got your license or whatever, and you get to the real world, a lot of the times you want to get a job real quick because now you want to put your CDL to work, which is understandable. But you also got to understand from an owner-operator point of view. An owner-operator do not want to spend how much ever money on his truck, customizing his truck, whatever the situation may be, you know? And then you're going to hire a driver fresh out of school and put him in your truck and he haven't driven for 4 or 5 months yet by himself, you know what I mean? And now he's in there tearing up your gearbox every gear, he is grinding and stuff like that. So a lot of the time, owner operators try to hire people with a lot more experience so that they can have a peace of mind when they gotta drive in their truck. They don't gotta worry about, damn, is he grinding the gears or is he tearing up my truck and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So a lot of the time, most of these drivers out of CDL school, they go work for a big company like Swift, Schneider, CR England, companies like that, you know what I mean? And even now to today, I'm starting to see those jobs as requiring 2 years of experience. But also from my point, I'm just like, how do you expect a student straight out of CDL school to apply to jobs and have 2 years experience when he just got out of school? You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta take a chance. You gotta take a chance with each other. When you get a job, you gotta prove that you worth the job and you know what you're doing and stuff like that. So me personally, I got my CDL. I wasn't driving trucks at the time. I was driving switchers, which is like a truck, but I wasn't on the road. I was staying in the rail yard. Like if you guys that are new to my channel and you don't know what I'm talking about, you could go back and watch my previous videos when I used to work in the rail yard. And then it just got too strict. I was working there for like 2 years, almost 3. And then it started getting strict. And I was just like, it's time to actually put my CDL to use. But I wasn't in a rush, you know what I mean? You got a lot of people that get out of school and are ready to just jump in and do things. And it's like, you gotta give yourself time, you know what I mean? So I started working in the rail yard. I got familiar with backing up trailers and all that. So once I left the rail yard, I started working for this company doing dump trailers. I also have videos on that. Just go back to my previous videos. For the old subscribers, you already know what I'm talking about. For the new subscribers, if you don't, just go back to my previous videos. Everything that I'm saying, I have it in video. And that was my first time ever driving a tractor trailer by myself. I used to go with a guy, like an older guy. Me and him was really cool. His cousin used to work in the rail yard as well, and his cousin told him about me, like I was working on getting my CDL and stuff like that. So once I got it, he used to take me with him when I'm off on my days off from the rail yard. I used to go with him, and he had a 10-speed Peterbilt. It was a 587, I think. And I used to go with him. He used to do FedEx and UPS, and I used to go with him. At the time, I wasn't into recording videos like that, so I never really recorded no footage. But I used to be driving with him and getting familiar with the gears and driving on the highway and stuff like that. And then after that, I ended up applying to this job, dump trailers, going to PA. We didn't really talk much on the phone. When did the interview, it was an 18-speed transmission. That was my first time ever driving a truck. At 18 speed, well, not the first time driving a truck, but the first time driving a truck by myself. And it's an 18-speed transmission. I was accustomed to a 10-speed. And then once I knew I got the job, they never gave me a road test. They just, when I went, they told me what the job consists of and whatever, and they just gave me the key. So I got lucky. Everybody don't get lucky all the time, but I got lucky. However, I started and I driven it, and I'm like, okay, so first gear is not where it is in a 10-speed. So I'm like, okay, first gear is here. Second, all the instructions is right here on the shift pattern. Right here on the shift pattern on the top. So I was looking at it, I'm like, I've been watching YouTube videos because I was always obsessed with trucks. So I see guys splitting and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, can't be that hard. Started driving. By the first day, I had it down packed. And then it was just from there. Now, after that, jumped in this dump truck, and I've driven a 8 Loto. But I know how to drive a 10. I know how to drive a 13. So, yeah, guys, this is just a video showing you guys how to downshift, how to upshift, and stuff like that. So, once I get back to the loading site, and I finish getting loaded, I'll continue recording so you guys can see what's the difference with shifting loaded and downshifting for loaded. So I'll catch you guys back in another